There it is. Back like we never left.
That's right. Episode 6, we're here again, guys. Welcome to Business Cousins. I am Tasha Ware. I am the CEO and founder of HLS Collective, and I help busy women with overwhelm with bringing structure and stability to their life through wellness and fitness.
Hello, and I'm Bruce, your better questions coach. I make sales simple by teaching you to ask better questions. And I really need to expound on that because I help a lot of teams that are customer facing, even if they're not in sales. But we'll get to that. How you
Yeah.
been, cousin?
Hey, I'm good, cousin. Well, a long 2 days. I feel like when it gets to Tuesday at this time, I'm like, it's like a whirlwind. It's like I did this, I had a meeting, I did that, I had a client, and yeah. But I'm always glad to see you. It kind of puts things back in perspective. They go, okay, and woosah, and let me dump my business stuff on Bruce because he's gonna have some better answers for my better question.
Yes. Speaking of better questions, I understand you finished reading my book.
I did indeed, and it was very enlightening. I'm glad I took the time to read it. Read it fairly quickly. I'm glad it was a quick read. I learned from it. I learned things that I need to be a little bit more introspective about in my business, and what questions I am asking, and what questions people may have for me. More
That's a
importantly,
good one.
so that I can have clarity in what I'm offering and what how
Mm,
I can and how I can serve the people that I would like to serve.
mm. Well,
And
thank you for the opportunity to serve. Yeah, I wrote it simple because I know how I am. You stay busy, I stay busy. I don't have time to read no novels. Trying to get to the sauce. So I need the gems. So I'm glad. Yeah, that's been life changing for me.
yeah,
Where we can talk about AI, we can talk about leadership courses, and we talk about if you ask better questions, you're already 80% there.
yeah, and I think that's the part that was eye opening. What questions I used to ask when I was in gym have
Mhm.
to be different now that my company is virtual, and that
Mm,
my clientele, they all have kind of evolved. I no longer have the 20 somethings. They are now 40 somethings and 50 somethings. So the questions to bring those people in have to be different. And I think it will give clarity not only to the business, but to their lives.
mm,
And so the 4P framework was fairly easy to follow, to break down and say, oh, okay, what is the promise? What is, so I appreciated that. And that's from the 4Ps is used in other things as well, right? Or did you
I
create that?
hope not. Yeah, I created it.
Okay, and then I say that because I've done a workshop or some work when I was setting up my new project manager tool, and it was 4 quadrants, and I'm like, is this similar?
Quadrant seems to be a popular um like framing for ideas.
Hmm.
So you've definitely seen a quadrant before in whichever spaces, but this I'll double check because I'm working on the trademarks, everything.
Okay,
You get that search. It should be a unique and original idea.
I believe so, and I was like, is it so profound that I feel like I've read it before? Or
It's because it's so simple, and this is something I struggle with. I want to make it profound, but it's so simple. And
yeah.
you've had all those ideas individually, probably at some point, but this is the first time someone's put them all together.
And that makes sense. That's the motivation behind my community, is to keep it simple. Like, it is 4 pillars as well. So
Nice.
within that, they could each have complications within them. However, they're pretty straightforward. It's like,
That might need to be the book right there.
really?
Yeah, because a lot of people write about the biography, and honestly, it's it's not the point. And I think I talk about that in chapter 4 on the introduction.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about the transformation, and we talk about the promise. So writing a book on the pillars might be a really great place to start, and
Hmm.
then write the biography second.
Yeah, I can see that because our pillars are very simple. Mindfulness, movement, nutrition, and sleep and recovery. And if
Mhm.
you can tackle those daily, just one of those 4 things on a regular basis for years on years and years, your life will be changed. And people neglect simple things like drinking their water, and
Mm.
and sleeping, and knowing the amount of sleep they actually need, and not that they're just getting because what's allowed to them at the moment, but really understanding, yeah, you can live off 6 hours, but how are
Mhm.
you functioning at your highest?
Yeah.
Probably closer to the 8, especially if you're female.
Yeah.
Scientifically, not my opinion, per fact. So,
That's good. See, that's the type of simplicity that gives people clarity, and clarity creates confidence. So take action.
mm,
When they take action, it'll work. And then they're like, "Oh, this book changed my life," which is partially true, but they changed their life, right? You just gave them the tools.
exactly. And be on the journey with them so they can do it consistently. Because that's the hardest part. A lot of times my clients know the answer. They have the answer, or they can find it. It's just implementing it day after day after day after day that seems to be the pain point.
Yeah,
It's the
but
consistency.
that's good.
You said that's good?
That's huge because you said something really important. They could find the answers. And especially in this world we live in, we got ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, Claude,
Mm-hmm.
um, Huggy Face. Like you could get the answers, but having the right answers in the right order is valuable. So perfect segue. I love the title. She comes up with a title, y'all. That's the mastermind.
Teamwork success, though.
That's one of the things I wish I had people had told me about starting a business. The first one was pay your taxes.
Indeed.
But the second one is simple cells.
Mm-hmm.
And when you talk about, hey, they have all the answers. Well, yeah, that's almost the problem. There's millions of results when I ask a question. There's
Mm-hmm.
hundreds of hours of YouTube videos. There's dozens of Reddit threads. You're like, well, which one do I need? Simplifying it for people pay for that.
Yeah,
Very few people pay to make things more complicated.
that is the truth. And that kind of goes in line with what we talked about last week when I mentioned Oprah and her endorsing all those different plans and shots and things. And then I did some more research, and it's actually closer to 8 to 10 different.
Oh wow.
Isn't that crazy? And so I realized, I said, in there lies what I've been saying all these years when I say I'm trying to lead you with integrity and simplicity so that you don't keep changing from 8, 9, 10 different ways to get this done, to reach this goal, to stay consistent, to have vitality, to make it through all the different phases of life, from perimenopause to menopause to postmenopause to baby, no baby. There's there, there is
That's huge.
it's huge. And through our app, you can track your data. So 2 years from now, you can look and see, like, oh, when I felt the best, I did these 4 things for 3 months straight. I don't have to reinvent the wheel. I can just go back to what already worked.
And that's a level of simplicity that's life changing.
Yeah.
It really is. So that's probably one of the things I'll say first is keeping it simple in my life, in my business, in my products and services, in my pricing, just keeping it simple.
Yeah.
What about you? What's something you wish you had known? You wish they told you? Maybe you're like, man, I should have asked this question before you got started.
I should have monitored. I should have asked about monitoring P&Ls more diligently, like
Hmm.
profit and loss. Like, what am I spending money on, and what am I spending time on? But how do you keep it going more consistently through the data brought in each month? Which is what I knew when I worked for corporate, but I wish I would have asked how to implement it as an entrepreneur on my own
Yeah.
faster. Like, where does that live? That's something that I would look back at the day and you're like, whoa, I brought in that much? That was great. Like, who knew? But if I would have tracked how I got there, I could have replicated it.
That's a big one.
And then I could have given that to my coaches so that they could replicate it. Because that was a pain point throughout the years. Is how do I replicate it with my coaches who also have the same vision to move us all in the right direction?
So the first pain point you mentioned was being able to stay consistent through life changes.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one was how do I teach other people, other coaches, personal trainers, who may be professionals, but personal trainers, how to help them duplicate and scale. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. These are the type of things we take for granted and people will pay for.
I agree. Because like you said a professional trainer or a personal trainer, that is something that I've had to teach over the years. How do you take what you learn in the book and apply it to people and to apply it to real lives? Because you can have all the certifications and be an awful personal trainer because you don't know how to apply the personal part of personal training. Or you only know the personal part and you're awful at actually programming and training. But how do you bring that together to form some type of philosophy or niche for yourself? So I think you're right. It is an important thing that can be sold. And work never ends, everyone. If you're coming in, we're shooting our pod. Or you're in your workspace today. I can tell the lighting is actually good today, though.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, there's a cleaning team coming in. They're good, and that's the thing. Listen, y'all. Let's detour for a minute, man. And this isn't off topic. It's don't wait for it to slow down. Like, don't wait for it to be convenient. Don't wait for it to be the perfect timing. Don't wait at all.
Right.
Success loves speed.
Mm-hmm.
And my little tangent on this, it doesn't mean making reckless decisions. It doesn't mean it doesn't even mean moving fast. Stay with me. When I tell you success loves speed, it's the time between making a decision and taking action.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And a lot of folks, like this podcast is a perfect example. We didn't have mics, shot an episode, we got mics. The next episode needed lighting, shot an episode, the lighting arrived, set it
Yep.
up, then we shot another episode. We would be on episode one, maybe two, if we waited. Like, oh, we don't have all of this together.
Absolutely.
I think the first one, do we even use StreamYard on the first one?
No, I think we just went on. We were on Zoom having a meeting, and you said, "Can we just hit record?" And I said, "Let's." Sure, sure.
Podcast on Zoom is crazy.
But I appreciate that you said, "Let's just do it." And now here we are, episode 6, because you can't let those obstacles get in your way when you're an entrepreneur, because it's gonna always be something.
There's always something.
Websites.
And that's not even to be negative.
No. Yes, it's sometimes gonna be websites fell down, but oh wait, website was great, it just didn't work.
Yeah. Oh man, I gotta update my mobile version. Apparently, I was like, "What? Why didn't anyone tell me?" Yeah, take action. And listen, we have a very simple goal. We have, was it 10 episodes? We just want to get to 11.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's really where we want to break some patterns of where we're doing some research. You can go back and listen to the first episode where a lot of podcasts don't make it past 6 episodes and fewer make it past 10. So like all we got to do and to be the longest running podcast is get to 11 episodes. That's a crazy statistic. The bar is low.
And Colin just said consistency is key, and we definitely believe that.
Oh, Colin's on there?
Yeah.
That's my guy. Hey, shout out to Blue Gopher out of Columbus, Ohio. Shout out to my Sands. Go my Sands. Colin J. White. I appreciate you, family. I appreciate you. I believe you keep swinging that axe. Darnell, what's up, boss? Long time no talk. Hey, shoot me a message, man. We'll reconnect.
Oh, yeah. And hello. Nice to
Oh,
meet
this is
you.
I don't know if y'all met. This is my favorite cousin. Don't tell Yolanda.
Well, being as though I'm the oldest, it's okay.
Oh,
Awesome. But yeah, so to your point, the consistency that we've had thus far, though, from the just let's put the button on Zoom to where we are today. I've tried podcasts and going live with others, and we did not make it to 6. So I feel like the statistic may be accurate. Yeah.
So you know what? I'm glad you said that because I want you all to realize we do not get it right the first time every time.
No.
I actually started a podcast. It was called Business Church.
Oh.
And right, that's kind of catchy, right?
Okay.
And I would do segments on Sundays, and I was like, "Hey, listen, this is really a way of life. Like, this is a spiritual journey." And it was a good concept. Colin was a guest on that one.
Mm-hmm.
I made it to 6 episodes.
Oh. Okay. Well, we're gonna make it to 7 and
Let's
9
go.
and 10. So here we go. So what would you say you wish you knew when you started your business or something?
This one, I quote the great Louisiana poet Juvenile. It's it's slow motion. I,
Uh-huh.
I think a lot of times, but we get the highlight reel. We've heard this before on social media. A lot of times they show you chapter 25 and not chapters 1 through 5.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that sometimes slow progress is better than stopping, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite poems, he says, "Rest if you must, but don't you quit." And
Mm-hmm.
that resting isn't failure. Uh, those are just all words to say the same thing. Just keep going. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's the most valuable thing I can tell you is keep going. It's all part of the journey. It's all
Yeah.
part of the way.
I would say my husband reminds me of that often because I've officially been independent 9 years. I've been
Let's
self-employed.
clap it up for that. Do we have a laugh track? Like,
Oh yeah, I forgot
pew,
our
pew,
little
pew,
noise.
pew.
Yes. So it's 6 years of this company, specifically of HLS Collective. So I do have to sit back and, like you said, it is a slow motion. It is you do have to kind of keep your feet to the fire, but it's a slow rumble. It's
Mhm.
not, we're smoking some pork. We're not.
Mm.
It's going to take some time for the flavor to develop and the fat to do what it's supposed to do.
Mhm.
But when you get it, oh, it feels worth it. When I have my events or when my clients say, "Oh, you're doing such a great job," and like I was telling Bruce earlier, I've had clients since 2008, 9 that are still rocking with me, and to look at their progress, to look at who they are now and who they may have been if we had never crossed paths, is definitely fulfilling, and that's what keeps me going on this journey. So I
Yeah, that's
appreciate.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Listen, if you're new here, there's two things that's going to happen every single episode. We're going to talk about one of our family members because we love our family, we love working, and we're going to talk about food. Like, it's just going to
We're
happen.
gonna talk about food for sure. Thank you, Colin. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're definitely gonna talk about food. And
It's definitely gonna be.
my brother moved around the corner, and he definitely smoked some pork the other day, which is where that reference
That
came.
was because that was very specific.
It was very specific, right? Shout out to Andre. He put some ribs the week before. I said, "Oh, God bless you, brother." But
Yeah.
yeah. So, would you say entrepreneurship for you has felt like, is it freedom, or is just choosing your own stress?
So that's my motivation. Actually, you know what? I don't think entrepreneurship has to be stressful.
I don't think so either.
I don't think it does. I think starting from scratch can be stressful.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. I really encourage people not to start from scratch. There's very few things that you've done or thinking about doing that haven't been done before.
Right.
Just copy what works. Don't steal no intellectual property. I'm like, oh, Bruce said it. No, but copy what works, right? If you say,
Yeah.
hey, building a community is what works for coaches, build a community.
Yeah.
Um, if this company raised funding in a similar space, hey, let's talk about raising funding, right? So I think reinventing the wheel is stressful, starting from scratch is stressful, but entrepreneurship has been really a blessing and satisfying, fulfilling in a lot of ways. I will warn y'all, it's entrepreneurship is like holding a mirror that's also a bit of an X-ray. You won't have to look at yourself in the eyes.
Yeah. It yes. You have to be prepared to do it when no one is looking. You have to be able to be okay with that background work of sitting, looking at those Excel docs or brainstorming what you even name your company alone. Like you do, I mean, you have other people to bounce off of, but it is. I didn't find it stressful either. To your
Mm-mm.
point, I don't find it stressful. I think it's because I have the choice to work with who I want to work with every day, or I can do work alone because I know I need to dial in. It was way more stressful working for Ghost Gym Corporate for 15 years.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, because it was on a whim or whatever political thing was going on. They could change your comp plan any day, make up reasons to fire your best employee, and you just didn't have any control. Um,
Mhm.
I got transferred to all kind of gyms, which they technically were raises, but I was leaving people behind that I had nurtured and I had room, helped grow as trainers. So it was way more stressful, and the glass ceiling was real. It's very real.
Man, that's why I became an entrepreneur. Did I tell this story already? Where they wouldn't promote me?
No, but that's why I became an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
That's exactly why I became an entrepreneur.
I had got into sales. I'll tell that story later. And I started off okay. And one day I made a commitment. I'm rereading Think and Grow Rich.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the steps of towards riches is just to decide, right? To
Mm-hmm.
decisions. Anyway, so I made a decision. I was like, I want to be the best. And so I was going to training every day. I was reading books. I was listening to podcasts. I was working extra shifts. And I ended up being the literal best, top 100 nationwide in a company of 7,000 employees. I'm like, let's go. So
Mm-hmm.
now I'm like, hey, you know what's next? Let me build a team. Let's duplicate my success. And they're like, oh, well, you don't have enough experience.
Mm-hmm.
And so I go volunteer at Toastmasters. I'll tell that story sometime. And then what happened? I made an error, just a clerical error, nothing crazy. No one died, right? That, you got to wait 12 months after this documentation before you can be promoted. I'm like, all right, that seems extreme, but fine. Because it was corrected, right? I'm the one that found it. And I
Mm-hmm.
fixed it. Fast forward, the same year, someone else made the exact same mistake. And then they got promoted 90 days later. I was
Oh.
like, okay. I was like, all right, cool.
Oh, and that'll do it.
They
That'll do
less.
it. That'll do it. Yeah, that is mine isn't quite like that, but I definitely put blood, sweat, and tears secretly because I didn't crack work. But yeah, I was top performer on the East Coast Fitness Manager for almost like 6 years straight
Mm.
at a location on
Oh,
Capitol Hill,
back to back.
back to back, like hit any goal you put in front of me, it was hit. So then they promoted me to having two gyms, and then they started sending me to gyms that were so underperforming. They knew that they were closing them down. Like they knew they were closing them down.
So,
Which, exactly, and I didn't understand that. I'm like, oh, you put me in a place that doesn't have air conditioning. It's not so. What am I supposed to do with a gym with no air conditioning? Like you can't sell $2,000 in personal training when they can't even use half the facility. So
damn. So they're like, well, either she's gonna work a miracle or we can blame her. Damn.
so what ended up happening was
That's called the okie doke.
it was the okie doke. I got look. So luckily I got out. I got out, but I moved. I did get promoted from there because it was a combination of what the revenue was for the month. I got put at a very expensive gym that the revenue could match my salary, but I didn't have to have two. I had one. All was right. Went back to number one again. Started killing it again. And then when it came time to be regional, because I was training other fitness managers, I was going to all the different locations because now at this point I had done 6 different locations.
Mm-hmm.
I got passed up for the third time for
3 times.
Yes,
but I don't understand if this person everywhere she goes leaves success. Like selfishly, I'm looking at the math. I'm like, damn, I got to put Tasha Ware in a position where she can make me some more money. Like selfishly, like I don't understand.
And exactly. And then the cherry on top was I was told my reasoning for not getting the promotion is that I didn't have a personal training culture in my facility.
What does that mean?
What
does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
And it was ironically a decade prior, I was literally hired, and my senior fitness manager, he said, I'm hiring you to build a training culture. And that is exactly what I did at every location. So I said, oh, absolutely not. That I will not take.
And that's why people be like, well, no one wants to work anymore. Why? You gonna treat them like this and not pay them?
Right.
I'm telling you, any organization I've led, any team I've led, they love working for me.
Me
my
too.
secret is simple. I just treat them like people.
Just treat them like people. Give them the tools that they need to be successful.
Yep.
Tools and skills.
You know, I love me some new skills.
Yes, I'm trying to tell you. Tools and skills. Like, let me tell you, say it like this, do it like this. How about that? You know, just an affirming evaluation of where they are and where they could be.
That's a big one. That's a big one because it's real quick. Oh, you did this wrong. You did this wrong. You did this wrong. But you never tell them what they did right.
Mm-hmm.
Man, positive reinforcement is more effective than negative.
Absolutely. And back to the family. I come from a positive family. I come from a positive environment. I wasn't reared in a space of negativity, so I don't manage that way. I don't like to speak down to people. I see value in whatever you're bringing to the table, whatever you put into yourself. So that management style doesn't work on me. I am very rebellious when it's come my way. Something
Mhm.
where I have pushed back against comp plans and all kind of things. But I actually like managing people. I like us building as a team and growing and going somewhere together, like a corporate family.
Yeah, I was reflecting on this when I was playing some video games, and I was looking at my top 5 most played games,
Mm.
and it's it was a co-op game, it was a multiplayer game, it was a co-op game, it was a co-op game, and it was a puzzle game.
Mm.
And I was like, that's interesting
Mm-hmm.
because it's the same way in my career. I love working with a team.
Yeah, yeah. I never imagined, as much as I do it as a solopreneur, I never imagined staying. I actually haven't stayed in solo but so long. Even this is a collaboration. This is
Right.
something that I'm doing with someone else, and I'm always looking to bring someone on to be a part of the journey that I see the optimism of how great it could be. I'm like, why not come with me? Like, let's just go. Let's do it together.
Let's go.
You
And
know?
that's why I try and explain to folks that you have a good team. Let's say you can do 1 million and I can do 1 million. Right? That's
Mm-hmm.
all. Together we could do 3,
Together
right?
we can do absolutely.
Or 30. Let's
Cause
we're
why
not gonna
not?
put a limit on it.
Cause why not?
So do you want to do it by yourself or do you want to get rich?
Right.
And this
That's
is
how.
for the introverts too. Listen, you may not want to start a podcast. I have a lot of different voices having different opinions on that. But my argument is this is simply leverage your strengths and make sure your team has the opposite.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's something I've done over the years. I would sometimes, obviously, I don't look like some big 230 pound, 6'4" personal trainer, but I would hire two of them so
Mhm.
that I can send clients that prefer that aesthetic to my own. It is, you have to build your team to on their strengths, not your strength.
Mhm.
So I enjoy that as well, especially in personal training where there's so many different niches that you can kind of fall into. You got sports performance, you got weight loss,
Oh
you
yeah. Power lifters is a whole nother.
there's high rocks now, which is the new basically CrossFit. There's so many ways. Runners, whole nother ball game.
Mhm.
And I don't try to pretend that I can cover all of it, but I can put you in a position to be in front of the right person so that
Here
you
we
get
go.
a solution. But yeah. So, in working with family, do you feel like it brought family closer or exposed some
So
personalities?
it definitely exposed me
It's a,
of my ability and inabilities as a leader.
okay.
Um, I'm thankful that I worked with family because they're a little bit more honest with where I need to improve, and so that's helped me improve in all other areas. With people who don't know me, they might have just quit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So largely working with family has been real positive.
Yeah.
What the transparency is, I don't know how much they enjoy working with me.
Yeah.
that's that's really where I need to work on. I don't have any complaints um,
I
from
can
them.
agree. I can agree. I think I don't have any complaints per se. I can see some improvements had I understood the nuances of working with people virtually because
Hmm.
that is a different beast. Whether they're my cousin or a family member or not. But that is a good question. I wonder how they feel about working with me because I know I'm very much so like, let's check these boxes, let's do this thing. I'll see you on Tuesday. But I also come from a ballet background where that's how you do it. You just show up, you be quiet, you do the thing,
Hmm.
you take your bag, you leave, you come back, you do it again. Smile because
Hmm.
your feet are bleeding, still smile, keep going.
Hmm.
And you just know that that nugget will turn into success, but it may take a decade.
And that's where I think it can happen quickly. However, it's not. You have to be very, very intentional about having quickly. Going back, I just did some content. I got to get captions for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I said the reason I like to hire is athletes, food service, and athletes, food service. I can't remember the third one. Is resilience.
It's resilience.
It's because they're willing to do the work when no one's looking, even if there's no results. Because you got to do 2-a-days. Shout out to those athletes. But the game's not for a couple months, right? So I think entrepreneurship definitely takes a different level of resilience.
Yeah, you can add dancers, ballerinas to that because it's the same thing.
Those are athletes. Those are definitely athletes.
You're putting us in the athlete category.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, you don't think it is? Okay, go work out.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I was also captain cheerleading squad, and we were part of the athletic department. So I see us as athletes, but I just had to have clarification because everyone
understood. Man, yeah. Work out them one good time for anyone who don't believe. Work out with them one good time. Let me know how that goes for you.
Indeed. But yes, it's the show up for me. And my friends, they are successful. And I know all the ones that aren't dancing anymore, they're still successful. And they are proving that those skills that we learned back then have been transferable for sure.
Man, we should talk about hiring. Oh, yeah. Next episode, let's make a note. Let's talk about hiring.
Okay.
Is it interesting? Did we ever take your DISC profile?
Which profile?
It's called DISC. It's a personality assessment. You know what? I might go ahead and get certified to do that. So what I like about this, it talks about how we interact with other people. So I really like to use it for hiring and then for leadership. Because one thing I understand about myself is I'm very task focused and goal oriented. So what that looks like is if we start at 6, I want to start at 6, and I'm like, we're just going to jump right to it. So I think you'll probably end up on the I think it is, or the yellow, depending on the test you take, where you're like, hey, let's talk, let's connect, let's have, let's build a relationship. And so I had to learn that because I'm like, no, this is not what we're supposed to be doing right now. We're supposed to be, and remember, like, hey, these are people, like, let them be themselves. And it helped me a lot as a leader.
Yeah, I'll be interested to look into that.
All right.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the last test I've taken was Myers-Briggs. I haven't taken anything since then.
That's a good one. I think that's a little bit more on your self-identity, though. I think it appears a little bit more inward.
True.
Yeah. It's a good one.
Definitely. It's been decades. I haven't taken it since I used to give it, in dating.
You as bad as me. I used to do the same thing. I'm like, yo, take this test.
Take this test. I was like, I need to see if you have an attention.
That's not gonna work.
And it was on paper. That's how long ago that was. It was on paper. I would hand it to like a packet. Like, you should take this. And then give it back to me. Let me get the answer. And I would make copies of it at work. So
that's comedy.
Yeah, including my husband. He took it back in the day.
Yeah, my partner, she took the disc for me, but bless her heart, she put up with my foolishness.
Yeah, we got it honestly. So, yeah. Well, I think this was a great episode. I mean, I definitely learned a lot. I don't know about you.
No, it was great. It was great self-reflection. So, for the show notes, I think, let's see, we talked about resilience. We talked about communication. We talked about food. We talked about pain points.
Consistency.
Consistency is key.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think, again, these conversations we might have a guiding point, but they're not scripted for a reason. We do them live for a reason, because we want you to know we're not perfect. We're just getting better every day.
That's right.
And that's our hope and prayer for you on your journey, whatever it looks like, that you can come along with it. So thanks for tuning in to the Business Coach Podcast.
Yes. See you soon.
Tell a friend and tell a friend. We'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Bye, cousin.
Bye, cousin.